And all of these riders have put in 1 million laps. He has not. So that's going to be the toughest part, I think, of this for Harrop, is to ride a track where everybody else is going to be much more familiar than he is.
That's funny you say that. I talked to him this morning before practice. They did get to ride yesterday for press day, and he said, I thought I knew what the track was like from watching videos, but once I rode it, it was nothing at all like I expected it to be. And he hasn't ridden any of the other tracks this year on the circuit either.
Yeah, I mean, the guy has some talent, so I'm sure he'll figure it out pretty quick. He's going to have to, because this field is deep. But, you know, I think he'll be fine. Sometimes, like, not knowing the track and not having any past experience might help you, because you don't have any negativity. So, you know, yeah, you don't have anything to lean on and say, oh, the good vibes. But at the end of the day, you know, he knows how to ride a motorcycle. That Yamaha is pretty powerful right there, so I'm sure he'll figure that part out, and it should be good.
And not on the gate in the 250 class today, graduating to the 450 now full-time, is RJ Hampshire. Let's send it to Haley.
We're excited about this one, RJ Hampshire. We know you had a quick surgery after the Supercross season about 10, 11 days ago, but now back on the bike, first laps out. What's the first impression now on this 450?
Just trying to be like grateful and enjoy this, you know, moment. Yeah, it's been a heck of a week, but also, you know, excited for this opportunity to go racing full-time on this 450. Yeah, not too bad. We were in the top 10 in that first qualifying, so don't expect too much out of today. Just be realistic and build as the series, you know, heads east. And who knows, maybe by High Point we can have a little bit more strength in us.
We look forward to seeing what you can do. Not come in with expectations, guys. I like the mood around here for RJ Hampshire.
Long time coming for Hampshire. He's been a pro for about 10 years. Now a 450 racer. Does have a 250 Supercross title in 2024 as you watch Deegan and the boys roll out for the final qualifying session this morning.
Yeah, Hayden looking pretty good. As you can see, he was already throwing a whip on there. I think today Hayden understands exactly what he can do. You know, if he comes out here and puts it to this guys, yeah, he might go 1-1, only get 6 points. Somebody finished second, but I think it's a lot bigger mentally, and he knows he can put a big old knock in these guys if he comes out here in this championship. So I think that's what his day is all about, just showing him.
Well, we had an interesting question for a racer who people feel they know very well, because it's not just what we see on the television broadcast here, but also his social media. So we asked him yesterday, what do people not know about him?
I think people understand it, and the people that don't like me kind of, you know, go against the way I act. Although, I mean, the stuff I say on the podium is not always the best. Sometimes it kind of just comes out of my mouth real quick, but I don't know, the way I post, the way I do stuff, I mean, it brings tons of fans to the sport, whether they like me or not. Not everyone's gonna like the guy that's winning. That's just how it goes in every sport. But it brings eyes. They want to watch every weekend and see what happens to me. So still brings views. So we're gonna keep doing it.
Well, when you think about Hayden Deegan, guys, at least he's consistent. You know what you're going to get from this guy. And I don't think, I've watched this kid race since he's become a pro, and I don't think I've ever seen this much swagger from him early on in a day. And I think that just comes from where he's at. You think about how good he has gotten in pro motocross. He's a defending champ. He finally checked that Supercross box, and he feels like he's the alpha in this 250 class, and he is certainly acting that very way in that first qualifying session with just more proof of it.
Yeah, not just with the words, but what we're seeing on the bike, throwing some whips, as you were mentioning, James. So definitely looks confident at the moment.
Yeah, he is. And whether he really feels that way and believes that, like, who knows? I think he does, but he is the alpha in this thing, and he knows everybody else thinks he is as well. So I think just coming out here, just showing the whip, just almost riding with a sense of cockiness and a sense of, like, you guys don't matter. I'm so comfortable. I know it's the first practice. I'm whipping around, and I think it's more of a mental game, just letting everybody know I'm here. You guys are going to be second today, and that's just kind of the way he rides. And, you know, sometimes you can beat these guys mentally, and this guy's figured that part out, and I think it's going to continue.
Lap times will start rolling in here. Most people thinking this session will be faster, as JT mentioned, the track drying out. You think they'll go under the lap time they had from earlier?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's for sure, it's going to be a little bit rougher, but as JT mentioned, it's going to dry out. So really just depends on how you get a clean lap. I mean, I look at the lap times. The second that Deegan has on a motocross track, it's nothing. You know, we're not talking about supercross. That gap would be pretty big. So for me, I'm just looking at his body language and how he's, you know, moving around, looks very comfortable. That's the gap that I see, not necessarily in the actual times.
It's like the Owl putting the hammer down now on the Red Bull KTM.
Yeah, when you got a long lap time like this, I mean, as simple as coming in, just getting stuck in one corner, that's your second right there. So that's why I'm not really necessarily looking into the times, more the body language, how their bike looks. And Tom looks just like he always does, clean. Doesn't look like he's trying too hard. Should be a pretty good day for him.
The Frenchman, who I believe did end up second in the championship last year, Kitchen. Oh, that's Max Folan getting hung up in some ruts and going down. Kitchen was second in points. Yeah, that was Folan. And last race of the year, Kitchen didn't finish a moto, and that allowed Vial to jump up to second in the final standings 2024. And let's go back to Haley in the pits as we continue to get ready for 450s. Haley.
Aaron, you're coming off a great Supercross season, but we know that you are particularly proficient outdoors. So at the end of the day today, is there a result or even a feeling that you'd be satisfied with?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got my feeling right now. Bike's feeling pretty good. I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling a lot better than the past years. Pretty much all the past years, I've came in with an injury. So this year, to come in just kind of 100% healthy, and to finish the Supercross season this year, it's a nice feeling, and I feel like I got a good base going, and yeah, I'm gelling with the track. I had a lot of fun yesterday, and I had a lot of fun this first practice. So yeah, just get out there, get a good start, and just be in the mix with these guys. Just be in the mix, and you know, maybe top 3, top 5 would be good, would be all right. But I'm shooting for a win. Haven't won a moto yet, haven't won an overall yet, so need to get that done, and yeah, we'll be styling this year for sure. I'm feeling really, really good on the bike right now.
He's got the feeling already, guys. AP.
Thanks, Haley. Just so many contenders in the 450 division. They'll be on track next as we watch Kitchen step it sideways while we were talking to Plessinger, but able to save it. As for Levi, chatted with him yesterday, had big crash at Daytona Supercross. So we asked him, is he 100%?
I'd say pretty close with any other year, you know, like even if I had raced Supercross or not, I was able to get a couple months in. First few weeks were rough, obviously. I'd say the soreness in my back kind of just went away the last 2 or 3 weeks, but yeah, I still feel really good. I feel strong. I'm back in the gym, all good.
Well, he feels strong, but a teammate is feeling strongest right now. The hot time's coming from this session now, and it is Garrett Marchbanks jumping to the top.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch him yesterday. I thought Garrett looked pretty good, you know, those long legs and stuff, and kind of watching Hayden Deegan. He's now throwing down a heater. I thought he looked pretty good, and the way this track is right now, I believe having power is going to be an advantage. You know, these Yamahas we know is fast. We know Mitch, you know, made some improvements to the bike a couple years ago. So, you know, I believe power is going to help these guys out a lot, especially when you start buried into these corners in here for practice. As the day goes on and it draws out, maybe not necessarily, but for sure during this practice, you got to be having that power or being smooth, like you see Tom Vial being very loose, or you can do what Hayden Deegan's doing and just letting it hang out.
Now Marchbanks, incredibly, one time, as Deegan gets off the side of the track, only once has Marchbanks ever been the fast qualifier in 250 motocross, and it was 2019, 6 years ago. But we do expect this is going to be hotly contested. Now we'll hop on board and watch Seth Hamaker, and we'll see what everybody can throw down.
Yeah, this guy right here, I'm looking forward to this outdoor season. The way he saw the Supercross, you know, Seth was on another, almost won that championship. Yep. I could see him as being very dominant. Yeah, Hayden at this point, he pretty much gave up that lap, kind of got a little cross-rutted. I don't think he was really going for a charge. As he gets in here, probably gets in this bump, backhand kicks out a little bit. Actually, I think he might have been trying to make a little sneaky line right there.
Oh, okay.
You know, on those little, on that inside of those markers, but nonetheless, he was done with his lap.
as for Hammaker, I talked to him this morning about the emotions of losing that Supercross title. It was so close and a little bit controversial with R.J. Hampshire throwing it in on him. He said, I am mad. He's some gnarlier language than that, but he said on Monday morning I knew I had to use that for this. Focus forward on this. That's the goal for the summer. JT.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that Deegan thing. That was right after the finish, as Jane mentioned. He overjumped the finish line by a good 15 feet, and I think he was just trying to kind of recover from that. So I don't think anything too outlandish from there. But watching Seth Hammaker, speed has never been the issue in pro motocross. We have seen him be the fastest qualifier. We've seen him run around the front. But that consistency that he found in the Monster Energy Supercross series this year, that is what has been missing. And I can promise you that's what they've been stressing leading up to this round. We're not going to know until we get into the races this afternoon if he's able to continue that momentum, but that's what he's going to be looking for, is to take that same step that he took this spring and carry that into summer.
Thanks, JT. Hooking back up with Kitchen, who looks like he is putting a hammer down now for a fast lap, but Marchbank's still on top.
Yeah, Garrett's right in front of him. It's a nice line by Levi. Standing up in the corner, and you can definitely tell when riders feel pretty confident, just standing up, leaning into it, bike's loose, and Levi looks like he's been riding all year long, so you know what he says, pretty comfortable, had some chances to ride, got through that corner pretty good, not burying the bike down, so looking good so far this lap. So far he's about 3/10 faster than his teammate. If he can keep it going.
Yes, Kitchen in the green, so at this moment he would have it, but he's got to hold it all the way to the end of the lap. Now, on the bottom screen, we're going to watch the 6th, the return of Jeremy Martin, who many assume was headed toward retirement, but he's back at least for a few races, maybe the whole summer, with his old team, Monster Yamaha Star Racing. So it'll be fun to watch the 6th get back up the pace, if he can. And we'll also see if Kitchen can get this lap time finished.
Yeah, good to see Jeremy back out here. I think for him, the way he rides a motorcycle, he charges a lot. It's not going to work well on this racetrack, at least not right now, because you're going to bury it in the corners. But for sure, Jeremy always has been in great shape. You know, his thing has been more about injuries and stuff. And that Bulldog, you let him out there, he starts smelling some stuff. Jeremy knows how to win these championships. He's done it in the past. I think for him, just get out here. If he can find some speed and be comfortable, I know overall, if he stays around and he wants to, he'll figure out a way to get up front. But for him, it's just really about staying healthy. And that's kind of hard to come back off an injury and come out here and put your best foot forward when you know the main thing is just being out here for the whole series. And that's going to be difficult for Jeremy. Hopefully he can.
Yeah, Jeremy, about a month ago, this wasn't even a plan. He wasn't riding. He was training just for fun. And look at that. Kitchen was not able to knock that Marchbanks time off. I talked to Marchbanks this morning. I talked to him a few weeks ago in Supercross. Been putting in a lot of outdoor motos out here in California. Really ready. Said he's made more progress in the last 2 weeks since that Supercross finale. And it's showing for Marchbanks right now as we see what Deegan can do.
Yeah, this section is really tough. I like these guys open up. You can see the back end kicking out. Let's see if Hayden can get through this. Nice power. Kind of open this corner up, try not to bury it in there too much. That's what we saw. These guys are almost going off the racetrack, trying to miss it, trying to find some dry line. So far, this lap looks pretty good. We don't know what happened in the beginning part, but you know, nonetheless, I think with Hayden, of course, he wants to come out here and be the fastest, but I don't think it really matters. You know, for him, he's got so much equity built up, and having that #1 plate, his confidence that even if he was 5 seconds a lap slower, he'd be unhappy. But when this gate dropped, I don't really think it would matter.
Yeah, actually qualifying was not a Deegan specialty until late last year. He actually was fast qualifier the final 2 races last season. I just love listening to this guy. Torturing that motorcycle.
I like that line, what Hayden did, where he made that mistake at. Instead of rolling down and getting in that, he jumps out, so he just carries his momentum. So when he hits that soft stuff, he's not stopping. That was nice.
Funny, his mechanic a couple weeks ago said a lot of times people think he's on a different engine spec than his teammates because his bike sounds so different. He said that's just because he revs it so much.
They always say that. He's got to be on a different because he's going that much faster than everybody else. So it'd be like, oh, it's not.
Oh, well, he's going faster. He has now jumped to the top, bumping Marchbanks to second.
Yeah, you see that line right there. He'll probably back out of this lap. There you go.
Yeah, he was in a full slide there.
Yeah, he got stuck in there, and he knows that that's not going to hold up with this field. But, you know, nonetheless, I think for everybody else, I mean, it's still a win. You know how confident Hayden is. So to have him within, you know, a second, but within tenths, you know, if I'm Garrett Marchbank, Levi Kitchen, man, I'm happy. I haven't been racing, at least if Levi, I haven't been racing all year long. We know this is Hayden's hometown track. We know he's coming out here trying to lay wood to everybody. So I'm feeling good.
We'll see how this guy feels. Chance Hymas, quick here last year, and then really established himself as a next level rider. All of a sudden, podiums, wins, battling even borderline title contention a year ago. Let's see if he can pick up where he left off. On the 10, the factory Honda HRC progressive machine.
He saved that one.
And as he became a threat last year, Deegan started the trash talk. We asked Hymas about dealing with those mind games.
I think it's fun. You know, it's everyone. The thing is with where we're at, everyone's so close in speed, so close in strength. You gotta start playing mind games. That's how you gotta mentally break somebody essentially, and that's his game. For me, I've always been told I wasn't good enough my whole life. I've been told I was never gonna make it. So that it doesn't affect me. I don't care about it. I don't play into it because obviously when you play into it, that's when they know they got you.
So we'll see how Hymas' time holds up. The mental game is one thing. This is a pure battle of the stopwatch. Can he rip that fast qualifying time away from Deegan? And at the moment, he is running ahead on pace. That's why we have the lap time in green. Oh, and Julian Beaumer has jumped up to second quickest, ahead of Marchbanks and Kitchen now. Hymas was fastest in the first session here a year ago, really establishing himself, like I said, as a contender. Here it comes. He's got it. Right at the end, the clock expires. Deegan was already on the podium to accept fast qualifying award, and nope. Hymas takes it away.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
He needed that too.
That was beautiful.
Yep. In yesterday's pre-event press conference, Jet Lawrence addressed comments that he made when he was younger that have come to light in the midst of a legal dispute with his former agent. Now, Lawrence said he was deeply sorry and took full accountability for using inappropriate language. He said he would leave the legal matters to the lawyers, but he did apologize to the sport also for creating a distraction on the eve of what he said could likely be the greatest motocross championship battle in recent memory. And we'll have more on this season from California after the break.